meet you. I'm excited to be here today to tell you about Descanso gardens and plants and some of the animals that are here and do some investigations with you. So Descanso Gardens, as I said, is a botanical garden. That means we take special care of a lot of different kinds of plants, and our major plant collections, the different groupings of plants that are most important to Descanso, are shown here on the screen. You can see there's a lot of different kinds. This top one with the red, these are our camellias. They're known for having these beautiful flowers that bloom in winter, which is kind of unusual. So lots of reds, and actually some of them are still blooming right now, even though it's gotten pretty warm. Lots of reds and pinks and whites out in the garden. And then next to it, this is a picture of our rose garden. You can see these pink flowers, but down near the ground are some of the roses. We have a lot of different kinds of roses in there that are very popular as well. And then in the lower corner over here with the red bridge, this is our Japanese garden. It has this beautiful bridge. It's building with this blue roof, and also known for cherry blossoms. Cherry blossoms bloom in spring only for a short amount of time, and actually some of them are blooming right now, beautiful pink blossoms that are very delicate. In this lower right corner with these prickly kind of cactus, we also have a lot of plants that are native to California and do well in this dry environment, our California native plant garden. And then in the middle, these are some of our oak trees that are one of our most important collections, and we're going to focus on today. Let's start with a walk through Descanso. We're going to take a quick, maybe 2-minute pretend hike through the gardens, and you can look around and observe what kind of different plants you see, what kind of start. Descanso has some parts of the land kind of like a bowl shape. So some of the land is up higher on these kind of hills, and then we're kind of going to walk down the hill a little bit. So see what kinds of plants you might observe as we do our walk. I did want to share that, of course, there are people who help make Descanso gardens thrive as a garden as well. We have a lot of horticulture staff. Some of them are botanists who know a lot about plants and have studied plants very closely. And some of them are volunteers who just love to help us take care of all plants and our plant collections and come and volunteer at the gardens. So these are some of the people that are in the gardens a lot. We also have educators, like my friend Nadia, who's here in the middle, who work with our school groups and tell them they're actually looking at an oak tree right here that we're going to do a little bit more work on ourselves and get to work with the public. And then, of course, we have families and visitors that come from all over to enjoy the gardens. And those are all important parts of the garden as well, the people and the plants. Not only do we have people and plants, but we have lots of animals who called Descanso Gardens home. Descanso Gardens is a habitat for many living animals. Today we're going to focus on these oak trees. This is a kind of oak tree called the coast live oak, and it's one of the most important kind of trees at Descanso Gardens. This big tree is the one I'm showing you here. We actually have about 5 of these really big old oak trees at Descanso Gardens. We estimate that they're over 200 years old, and they're quite big. And if you look carefully at this picture, you can see that oak trees have this thick trunk. They have these long kind of gnarly branches that kind of make these interesting shapes, and eventually, if they live long enough, the branches will go down to the ground. They have a lot of green leaves, and then also, you can't see it in the picture, but underground, coast live oaks also have long roots that spread out quite far. So if you can imagine the roots spread out as far as the branches. So these roots are going to spread out all the way to where this man is walking. There's probably roots underneath his feet there. So let's talk about this oak tree a little bit more, and the idea that an oak tree is a habitat or home for many living things, for many living animals. What do you think would make an oak tree a good habitat?
I think this oak tree will make a good habitat because if you look in the middle, it's like a small, like a square where like many animals could like go in.
I think what would make it a good habitat is that it has a very thick trunk, so squirrels can get into it and make its nest so it can be big enough for them.
Okay, great. Well, let's see. These are acorns. These are the seeds of the oak tree. And actually, these are important too for habitat because they are food for a lot of different animals. So here's an owl, a very sleepy looking owl, doing just what somebody described, of like finding a place to perch in this tree. And actually, these owls will sometimes find a hollow inside the trunk or inside a branch to have a nest as well. And then this is a gray squirrel, one of the animals that really likes the acorns of the oak tree, but also spends a lot of time up in the branches. And this is interesting. This is actually a picture of this cluster of leaves is a nest, but it's not a bird's nest, although lots of birds do nest in the oak trees. This is a squirrel's nest. So this kind of squirrel that's over on the side will make this cluster of leaves and live inside. And this pink thing is the squirrel baby that will have and raise in that nest. So sometimes when you look up at the trees, you might see a clump of leaves and it might be a squirrel's nest up there. Our activity is to design your own plant. So what we want to do is give you a chance to kind of imagine your own plant, and you can come up with any kinds of superpowers, plant superpowers you want, any features that you think would help make your plant a good habitat or a good home for animals. Maybe it has some kind of fruit or nuts or acorns or something that are good food, or it provides good shelter, or a good place for animals to make a nest, something like that. And then you can also include any imaginary features or adaptations that will help your plant survive in its environment. Maybe it has super thick bark that helps it protect it from fire, or super deep roots that help it get water. So that's going to be our imagine your own superpower plant activity.
I drew a machine stuck to a tree that provides water. I draw a leaf and some bunch of squirrels. Here's my plant. This is a plant that if humans only touch it, that they could get itchy. Only if they touch the spikes.
Very interesting.
And this is a habitat for bugs and arachnids. Made a picture of a tree.
Awesome.
That's a spider. And I have some birds.